The St. Peter Dynevor Anglican Church, overlooking the Red River a little north of Selkirk, is one of Manitoba's oldest Anglican churches. Completed in 1854 by stonemason Duncan McCrae, its cemetery contains a who's who of early Manitoba, including Chief Peguis. Across the river is an equally significant building. Let's go have a look. On the west side of the Red River is the St. Peter's Dynevor Rectory, the home for the reverend of the church. And in fact, every week, the reverend would have to paddle across the river to minister to his flock. The very first occupant of this building, which by the way was built in 1865, was Reverend Abraham Cowley. When Reverend Cowley passed away, he bequeathed the building to the Anglican Church, and in 1896, they opened the Dynevor Indian Hospital. The idea was to provide a medical facility for the local Indigenous population. 1939, they transfer ownership of it to the federal government and they turn it into a tuberculosis hospital. Basically, because the Indigenous population suffered tuberculosis at something like 30 times the rate of the population as a whole. And it was a tuberculosis hospital then for many years. Finally, the control reverted back to the Anglican Church, and they turned it into part of the St. John's Cathedral School for Boys, allegedly the toughest school in North America. Finally, in its later days, it was used as a part of an addictions facility, but as you can see, it's now looking pretty shaky. It's surrounded by a fence, and it's likely that in the not too distant future, it's going to come down. As one of the last remaining stone residences along the Red River, it's sad to see the building in such a decrepit shape. And of course the fact that it's got such an important history, the history of the Anglican Church in Canada, the history of Indigenous medicine, and especially the treatment of tuberculosis. And then of course the story of the Cathedral School for Boys. There's so much history tied up in this building that it's sad to think that in the not too distant future, it probably will be gone. Do you know any of the other stone buildings along River Road? Tell us about them in the comments below. And remember to like and subscribe for more videos about Manitoba history.